Listen to me, every single one of us has noise in our lives. I'm not just talking about sound. I'm talking about the distractions, the doubts, the opinions, the endless scrolls, the texts, the negativity, everything that keeps you from becoming the best version of yourself. The noise is what's standing between you and your greatness, and if you don't learn how to silence it, it will rob you of your dreams. Some of you wake up every morning and you're already behind because the first thing you do is feed the noise. You open your phone, you check messages, you scroll for an hour, and before you know it, you've given away your energy to people who don't care about your goals. That's why your productivity is stuck at the same level. You're working, but you're not building. You're moving, but you're not advancing. Why? Because you haven't learned how to kill the noise. If you really want to boost your productivity, you've got to get radical about your environment. You've got to create space for focus. That means turning the phone off when it's time to work. That means surrounding yourself with people who speak life, not death, into your vision. That means locking in, blocking out, and giving every ounce of your energy to the task that gets you closer to your goals. You've got to make a decision. Do you want to be entertained, or do you want to be effective? Do you want to live for likes, or do you want to live for legacy? Because you can't do both. The person who kills the noise, who says no to distraction, who treats their time like gold, that's the person who wins. Let me be clear, productivity is not about being busy. Anybody can be busy. Productivity is about being intentional. It's about asking yourself, what am I building today? What am I moving forward today? What am I finishing today? Every single day, you've got to demand results from yourself. So here's the challenge. Cut the noise, cut the excuses, cut the distractions, get laser, focused on your vision, and give everything you've got to it. Because the moment you kill the noise is the moment your productivity will skyrocket. And when that happens, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Distractions are dream killers. Let me say it again. Distractions are dream killers. You can be the most talented person in the room, you can have the best ideas, you can even have the right resources. But if you allow distractions to control your life, you will never see the greatness you're capable of. That noise around you, it's not harmless. It's costing you your energy, your time, and your focus. Think about it. You wake up in the morning, and before you've even had the chance to set the tone for your day, you've given your attention away. The first ding on your phone, the first scroll through social media, the first meaningless conversation. It's all noise, and here's the truth, energy is not unlimited. You only get so much mental energy in a day. If you spend it on noise, you don't have enough left for the things that actually matter. You can't expect to chase your goals with a drained battery. You can't expect to be productive when your mind is scattered in 100 directions. Every time you let noise in, you're handing over pieces of your energy, and when you finally sit down to do the work that matters, you're empty, you're tired, you're distracted, and then you wonder why progress feels so slow. Listen, if you're serious about productivity, you have to make a conscious decision to silence the noise. That means creating boundaries. That means being disciplined enough to put the phone away, to turn off notifications, to say no. When people try to pull you into meaningless conversations that don't serve your future, it's not about being rude, it's about being responsible with your time and your energy. Silencing distractions is also about mastering self-control. Because let's be real, sometimes the noise isn't out there. Sometimes the noise is in your own head. It's the doubt, the fear, the second guessing, the negativity you let loop in your mind. If you don't learn how to shut that noise down, it will paralyze you before you even take a step. You've got to replace that noise with clarity, with focus, with affirmations that remind you who you are and where you're going. Protecting your energy is non-negotiable if you want to be great. Guard it like your life depends on it, because your future does. Every successful person you admire has learned this skill. They don't give their energy to just anything or anyone. They're intentional. They know that what they feed their mind and where they direct their focus determines what they produce. So make a decision right now. Silence the distractions, kill the noise, protect your energy, because once you take control of your focus, your productivity will explode. You'll find yourself moving faster, working sharper, and accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. And that's how you separate yourself from everyone still drowning in the noise. Your environment will either push you toward greatness or pull you into mediocrity. Let that sink in. You can have the right vision, the right motivation, and even the right plan, but if your environment is filled with distractions, negativity, and chaos, you will never hit your full potential. Productivity doesn't just come from willpower. It comes from the environment you build around yourself. Look at your space right now. Is it set up to help you focus, or is it designed to keep you distracted? Some of you are trying to work on your goals in the same place where you play, where you chill, where you waste time. And then you wonder why your productivity is inconsistent. The truth is, your environment shapes your behavior more than you realize. If you want to produce at a higher level, you've got to create an environment where focus becomes automatic. That means cutting out the clutter. A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. If you want clarity in your thoughts, you need clarity in your environment. Organize your desk. Keep only what you need for the task at hand. Eliminate the temptation to wander off into distractions. Your physical environment should be a reflection of the discipline you're trying to build. But it's not just about the physical space, it's also about the people around you. Who you surround yourself with is critical. Are you around people who motivate you, who challenge you, who push you to be better? Or are you surrounded by complainers, excuse makers, and people who settle for average? Because make no mistake, that energy rubs off on you. You can't expect to build a productive life if your environment is full of people who are comfortable wasting theirs. You've got to be intentional with your time too. That means building routines and systems that eliminate decision fatigue. Don't wake up every day wondering what you're going to do. Plan it in advance. Block your time. Set priorities. When you structure your day with intentionality, you take control of your productivity instead of letting distractions control it for you. And let's talk about energy management. Productivity isn't just about what you do with your hours. It's about what you do with your energy. Are you sleeping enough? Are you fueling your body with the right food? Are you moving, exercising, staying sharp? Because if your environment is draining your health, it's draining your focus. A productive environment is one that energizes you, not one that leaves you exhausted before you even start. So here's the bottom line. Stop waiting for focus to magically appear. Stop blaming yourself for being lazy, when the real issue is the environment you've created. Take responsibility. Build an environment that forces you to level up. Build routines that support focus. Surround yourself with people who demand excellence. And when you do that, productivity won't just be something you chase. It will be something that flows naturally out of the life you've designed. Let me tell you something straight. Busyness is not the same as productivity. Too many people confuse the two. They think just because they're moving, just because their calendar is full, just because they're always doing something, that means they're making progress. But hear me clearly. Activity does not equal achievement. You can run in circles all day long and still end up in the same place you started. Busyness feels good because it tricks you. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel like you're grinding. But at the end of the day, you look back and realize you haven't built anything. You haven't moved closer to your goals. You've just been busy. That's why so many people are exhausted but not effective. Tired but not productive because they've mistaken movement for progress. True productivity is different. True productivity is intentional. It's not about how many hours you put in. It's about what those hours produce. It's not about checking boxes. It's about finishing the things that actually matter. Productivity is measured by results, not by how much sweat you put in without strategy. So how do you shift from busyness to productivity? First, you've got to get clear on your priorities. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every task carries the same weight. You've got to ask yourself daily, what is the one thing I can do today that moves me closer to my ultimate goal? When you focus on the essential, you stop wasting energy on the trivial. Second, you've got to eliminate what doesn't matter. This is where people struggle because saying yes feels easier than saying no. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your vision, you're saying no to the things that do. Productivity demands courage, the courage to cut out the things that don't serve your mission. Third, you've got to hold yourself accountable for results, not effort. Don't just ask, did I work today? Ask, what did I produce today? Don't just ask, did I stay busy? Ask, did I move closer to my vision? When you hold yourself accountable in this way, you'll start to notice the difference between wasted effort and meaningful progress. And here's the truth. Productivity will require you to slow down sometimes. You don't need to chase everything. You need to chase the right things. You don't need to do it all. You need to do what matters most and do it well. That's how you build momentum. That's how you stack wins. And that's how you create real success. So stop celebrating busyness. Stop wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor. Start celebrating results. Start measuring progress by the goals you hit, by the tasks you finish, by the growth you achieve. Because when you make that shift, when you stop being busy and start being productive, you'll finally see the difference between motion and progress, between activity and achievement, and that's when your life will level up.